Yo, what's up, guys? Rage underscore Brady117 here. Back again, guys, with another video. Not today. Today, guys, I'm going to be doing another reaction video to Mr. Nightmare, once again. And a few days ago, he uploaded a video titled, 3 True Scary Halloween Stories. Now, this is going to be very, very interesting and very cool, since, Halloween's going to be coming up in about, like 9 days. And speaking about Halloween, guys, I was planning on doing another vlog for this year, but of course all this pandemic bullshit happened, and so that's gonna get delayed for next year because I don't think it really is a good idea to go trick-or-treating this year because you never know who you're gonna walk past. You don't know who has the virus or not. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not gonna be going trick-or-treating. None of my friends are going trick-or-treating either. Because, we're smart and not idiots and that throw parties, even though you're not supposed to. Anyway. So yeah, and also, I'm going to be doing something on Halloween, actually. So, just because I'm not going to do a vlog doesn't mean I'm not going to do something special for Halloween this year. I will, because I'm actually working on, 2 songs, actually. I'm working on 2 songs. One of them is going to be dropping on Halloween, and the second one is going to be dropping on November 1st. Yeah, literally the day after. So I'm working on both of them right now. And no, it's not going to be doing a freestyle on someone else's song. Because I felt like I shouldn't really be doing freestyles on someone else's song. I should be making my own. I mean, for my first song, I did a freestyle. But I made all the lyrics, but I just didn't make the beat. But for my 2 songs I'm going to be dropping on Halloween and November 1st, I'm making the beats myself and the lyrics myself. Okay? And I already named my first song. It's going to be titled Voices. Alright, that'll be dropping on Halloween. But the second song, I'm still debating, what can I name it? So, yeah. Anyway, guys, not just a little update for y'all. So, let's get right to the reaction video, alright? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Also, go subscribe to Mr. Nightmare. Link in the description below, and the video link will also be in the description below. So yeah. All right. Story 1. Here we go.
Halloween used to be one of my favorite holidays. Now I kind of just enjoy it when I have a decent party to go to. In 2018, when I was a senior in college, my friend Tracy's sorority was going to be throwing a big Halloween party at the sorority house.
Okay.
She said I could bring one friend since they didn't want too many outsiders at the party. So I invited my best friend Cody.
I've never really been to a Halloween party. I wish I did. I wish I had.
The party was that night and we didn't have anything. Cody was working late, so he'd have to meet me right before the party. So he asked me to get a costume for him, and he'd just Venmo me the money. I ran to the nearby Spirit Halloween store that opened up like 5 minutes from my house. I was just shotgunning it. I picked a Where's Waldo costume for myself and a Superman costume for Cody. Both 2 of the cheaper costumes they had. Everything was normal until I got to the cashier. I was on the phone with Cody, telling him about the costume I got him and giving him details about the party. I told him which sorority it was, that Tracy got us the invite, gave him the address, and then he convinced me to pick him up instead of us just meeting, stuff like that. All of this was said as the cashier was watching me. He was some guy who was decently older than me, but because of his receding hairline, I couldn't put a gauge on it as to whether he was in his 30s or low 40s. He wore glasses, though, and had a skinnyish build and an awkward presence. As he rang up the 2 costumes, he had a comment something along the lines of, "Sounds like you have a fun party tonight, huh?" I chuckled and said, "Yeah." Then he started asking more details, like if it's open invite, and had a comment about there being lots of girls. I said it's closed invite and that I barely got an invite. He said it's all good. Then he shook my hand and introduced himself as Mike, so I did the same and told him my name was Sean. And I left. It was weird. Fast forward.
And that kind of sounded a little bit sus. Like him asking, is it open invite? Or is there gonna be girls there? And then he immediately shakes your hand and just introduces himself to you. That's kind of weird or awkward or suspicious. So, yeah.
Until later that night, I picked up Cody and we arrived to the party around 10 p.m. It sounded loud inside, and there were multiple groups of people entering the house before us. At the door, a girl asked us who we knew there, and I told her Tracy. She let us in, and and we were in this huge living room area. Music blasting, all the lights dimmed low, Halloween decorations everywhere. And to top it off, people with red cups full of booze crowding the place.
Damn.
We saw Tracy and hung around her for a while. We played beer pong and other drinking games. It was a very legit party. But then, at some point, there was a commotion by the front door area. Cody, Tracy, and I and a few others walked over, and the girl at the door started calling out, "Where's Tracy?" She came forward, and the girl asked, "Who is Sean?" I said, "I am." Then she asked me who that creepy guy we invited was.
Oh
I was
no.
confused and said, "Who?" She described some older-looking man in a cowboy costume with a fake mustache. He apparently inappropriately touched one of the girls, trying to get her into a separate room, and she screamed for help.
That was the cashier. Oh shit. Yo, he done followed you. I would probably suggest to either one, try to find this guy, get him, and then call the cops, or two, just get the hell out of that party and tell everyone to leave as well.
He took off with something in his pocket. None of the guys chased after him or anything. Immediately, I thought of the cashier from Spirit Halloween.
Oh no.
I told them about it, and everyone got even more creeped out. The party went on, but they were a lot more cautious about who they were letting in, and they even considered calling the cops for a second. That whole thing really killed my vibe, and we didn't stay much longer after that. In total, we were probably at the party for a couple hours at most. We left a little past midnight, I think. I didn't drink much. As I started my car, the car parked like 2 cars behind us also turned on, and as I drove in the direction of Cody's house, the car started to follow. Cody and I were sure it had to be him after it made 4 of the same turns, so I pulled to the side of the road, egging him on to pull over. But the car just stopped for a few seconds, then basically floored it past us. We didn't get a good look at who was inside, but I'm still positive it was him.
Yep.
After dropping off Cody down the block from his house, just being cautious, I was staying very aware of my surroundings, and because of that, I noticed a car in the near distance with its lights off, tailing me.
Oh no.
It looked like the same car. I got to a main road, once again pulled over, and waited. The car once again waited, then a few seconds later turned on its lights and floored it in the far left lane, passing me. I was obviously shook, and drove home as fast as I could while I was sure I wasn't being followed. I called that Spirit Halloween location the next day and reported the cashier. They thanked me for the information, but I never went back there, so I wouldn't know if he was fired or anything. Looking back, I wonder if I could have and should have pressed charges. Regardless, I have no idea what he could have possibly wanted from me. But either way, I'm happy he didn't find out where I live.
Yeah, good. Man, that one got me a little bit spooked. You know, that the old guy, I mean, I knew he was acting suspicious. I knew it. But, I mean, I didn't know he would go that far into actually following you and your friend Cody to, like, the party. You know. Anyway, let's continue to story number 2.
Halloween of 2019 was the most terrifying night of my life. I live in Australia, and because we don't celebrate Halloween as enthusiastically, we don't get as many trick-or-treaters, around 5 or 6 people at most. I am personally a huge fan of Halloween, though,
Me
to
too.
the dismay of my parents who would prefer not to acknowledge it. Obviously, that leaves me in charge of putting up decorations and handing out candy. This particular year, Halloween fell on a school night, and a storm began just after 6 o'clock, which unfortunately meant my efforts preparing the decorations had pretty much gone to waste. Ignoring my better judgment, I still waited for trick-or-treaters in the living room and watched The Conjuring to pass the time. Around an hour and a half later, I got a message from my friend M on our group chat, asking if anyone would like to mess around and go trick-or-treating. At first I was confused. We hadn't gone trick-or-treating in over 5 years, but I decided it would make the night more enjoyable as nobody was knocking on the door anyway. My other friends, who I'll call S, C, and H, all agreed and asked M where we should meet up. M quickly replied he couldn't make it, which was strange because he was the one who offered to go trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
But he suggested a house which has lots of candy. Me, S, C, and H all arrived at the house within half an hour. A large table with a pumpkin bowl filled with lollipops stood at the front porch, and after checking the windows to make sure we weren't being watched, we emptied the bowl between us, only leaving a few to avoid suspicion. As we turned around to leave, we We were greeted by two men dressed as clowns approaching us up the driveway.
Oh shit.
They had huge painted smiles and tilted heads. I could tell we were all creeped out.
You better start
My
running.
friends screamed as they started bolting towards us, one squeaking its rubber nose as they chased. After running for what felt like an eternity, we finally lost them. We decided to go to M's house so we could discuss what just happened in a safe area. However, when M answered the door, he burst into laughter. "What the hell are you guys doing?" he said, confused. "You told us to go trick-or-treating. Can you just let us inside?" S replied. After sitting down on M's couch, we all soon realized M had lost his phone earlier that day, and a stranger had suggested the idea of going to that house, presumably some sort of trap from the clowns.
Oh crap.
After another half hour, I cautiously made it home by 9:30, finished my movie, and went outside to collect the candy bowl I set up. I was shocked to see the bowl was completely empty. However, my stomach turned when I saw a clown nose was now laying inside of it. I
Oh
told my parents
hell
everything that
no.
happened, and showed them the clown nose that had been left at our house. They assured me it was just some Halloween prank. I woke up around 1 a.m. to noises coming from my bedroom window, like rocks hitting the glass.
Oh
Although I
shit.
was scared half to death, my curiosity got the better of me, and I eventually opened the blinds. My Halloween decorations were destroyed and littered the ground below. I stared motionless in complete shock until a lollipop was thrown at the window, breaking my trance. I looked up and saw them, the two clowns perched upon the neighbor's roof, looking down at me. I screamed and ran away towards my parents' room. I'll skip the details that followed.
Better call the
police were
cops.
called and the clowns were not found.
Oh no.
The officers informed us they would check out the house my friends and I trick-or-treated at, and they left in about half an hour. The following morning, we were told the house was abandoned, and M's phone was discovered inside.
Oh god.
That day at school, I learned M, S, C, and H all had creepy experiences during the night as well. I'm not sure if the clowns followed us home or they somehow tracked us through M's phone. All I know is that Halloween is only a few weeks away, and I am completely terrified they'll return.
Damn. And speaking of clowns, I actually ran into one back in 2017. I did a storytime video about that, but it had a good ending to it. I mean, it was a happy ending, not a terrifying ending where the clown that I ran into was chasing me or something. But yeah. So that one got me also spooked out. Like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, just like, oh my God. Just imagine like getting a text from your friend, and then like to go like to like some kind of house that has candy, and then you go there, and then you get the candy, and all of a sudden like two clowns just start chasing you. That's just fucking terrifying. I mean, but good thing they didn't have like weapons, cause I mean they would have done anything if they caught you. But anyway, let's continue. Finally, last story, story 3. Hopefully this ends out with a very terrifying story.
It was a stormy Halloween night. I was with my 3 friends John, Mary, and Keenan. Since we didn't have any real plans and were kind of just hanging around, I decided to grab the Ouija board from my closet. All my friends were down.
Well, I already know that this is gonna go downhill, because as soon as he said Ouija board, we all know where this is going, because anytime someone plays with a Ouija board, of course something's gonna be fucked up.
To try it. I wanted to be funny, but also set the mood, so I got 3 candles, lit them, and turned off all the lights. The 4 of us sat at the table with our hands on the planchette. We started off by saying, "Is anyone there?" Of course, the planchette started to move, and we all started to laugh. It went from Y to E to S, spelling yes. John and I began asking the really stupid, goofy questions.
Why?
Like, will you haunt Mary? And she kept begging us to stop. But as the planchette moved to once again spell out the word yes, we all erupted into laughter. To be honest, I didn't even contribute to moving the piece around the board. I just assumed John and Keenan were messing around for the most part.
Nope.
Then, without anyone asking a question, the planchette started moving to spell the words, "I'm inside the house." More laughs, until there was a huge, very obvious thump sound from directly upstairs.
Oh hell no.
It most closely resembled a boot stomping on the floor.
Oh,
All at once, Mary started screaming and freaking out. John, Keenan, and I didn't know whether to laugh or be freaked out. My parents weren't home. No one was except for me. We don't have any pets. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. We looked at each other.
Don't.
Then I went to look through the peephole. I opened the door. It was a dad and his young son trick-or-treating under an umbrella. I opened the door and handed the kids some candies. But once I shut the door, it was back to the current reality of the situation, which was figuring out what the hell that sound was. I convinced all three of them to come upstairs with me just to check. We all got to the upstairs hallway. All that was on was a nightlight plugged into the floor outlet. We were halfway through the hallway, approaching my parents' bedroom, which was the room directly above the table we were sitting at, where we heard the noise. That's when we all heard the same thing. It was this voice of a girl. What was said, none of us could hear it, but all four of us agreed we heard the voice of a girl in my parents' room, followed by the sound of something being dropped on the floor. Mary and Keenan ran down the stairs, freaked out, but not making a peep. John and I, however, approached the door. I opened it quietly and pushed it open slowly. I looked into the dark room, and I saw something tall standing in the far corner of the room. I slammed the door shut, and we ran down the stairs.
Wait, hold up.
We stayed in the living room and flicked on the lights. I noticed one of the candles by the Ouija board was blown out. I called the cops, and a few minutes later, when an officer arrived, I asked him to check my parents' bedroom. I led him up the stairs and pointed at the door. He knocked on it and announced police, then opened the door quickly and flicked on the light. He checked the closet, under the bed, nothing. That's when we followed and entered the room as well. I can confirm no one was in there. While we were at it, we checked every single bedroom and bathroom up there. There was not a single possible place anybody could be hiding. After the police officer left, we threw the Ouija board in the neighbor's garbage, and we all sat under the awning in my backyard, listening to the storm in silence until my parents returned. After telling the story to my parents together, eventually my friends left. My parents seemed to believe us, but what could they really do? I didn't sleep too well that night, and obviously I have no plans of using a Ouija board ever again.
And that's a lesson of using Ouija board, because whenever you use it, shit's gonna go down. And not in a good way. But anyway, guys, that was a pretty good video, I kind of got me a little bit spooked, and, yeah, got me a little bit spooked. I mean, especially, like, story 1, because, that story 1 as well, like, got me really scared. And then story 2 as well, because, freaking guy and his friends were getting chased by 2 clowns, and then he was getting harassed. And even this one too, because Ouija board was involved, and I already explained to y'all what happens when you use a Ouija board. Bad stuff will happen when you use it. But anyway, guys, hope y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and go follow me on my Instagram. And I'll see all of y'all tomorrow. Have a good day, and God bless you all. Peace out.